Reload.
Reload.
Something you run into often on light gun games for Saturn. We're live, by the way. Sending data.
Did not get no notification.
It says I cleaned out my port and I'm still having issues, man. This one's a head scratcher.
You had a dirty port?
I did have a dirty port.
You had to blow it out?
It doesn't like the blowage.
Sometimes it's just you need a better blowjob. Better, like a new can of air.
It's gotta get in there with the toothbrush, man.
I did the toothbrush with my contact cleaner. I have destroyed a screen on a phone with the compressed air. Brant, it put streaks all up the phone.
What?
Yep. One of the Mrs. Old, what would that have been? Yeah, I destroyed it. There were streaks up the LCD panel from blowing that air in there. It was awful looking.
How the hell did it?
It did. I don't know how or what exactly happened, but it absolutely did.
Do you think
it was bad? I'll never give it the blow job again. It's only gonna get the brush bristles. It's like it's not seating in there. Like it wobbles too much. Like it's not actually clicking in. It has a left to right wobble. Right now it's fine, but I have to find like a sweet spot back and forth.
Could be some of that solder is loose or something. The port has just come loose.
Yeah, and it's never like it's only
bad USB.
Like I've got it plugged in down here so I can be one of our 3 mandatory followers. But I use a Qi charger at night, so it's not like I have to always use this. So It's not a big deal at all. It's just trying to figure out why it's not locking in there for some reason. There we are. We're just chatting.
Yep.
Are we all hearable? Audible?
I use a cheat.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes, we're all audible. 30 frames per second. Yeah, see, it just unplugged. I just moved to the side and it unplugged. I can't tell if it's good or not. I'm doing it again. Stop. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Be extra aware, like write down a title, because I'm going to edit this one and put it up in La Noche. So I don't have to fight with it tomorrow.
Alright. Are we planning on doing another one this week because of the holiday, or are we just going through?
Do we want to? I'm probably free. I think I'm good Saturday and Sunday. Maybe if we did Sunday, then we'd be caught up. Then we could do Wednesday.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Cesar said Wednesdays might not be working out, but
Soon.
yeah.
Not quite yet. We can discuss that off air either way because we're streaming to 5 people. Welcome 5 people as we discuss our work schedules. Yeah. Yes, Brant, 5 people. $5 foot long. Just like Jared sang about.
No. I think by that point he had gotten rid of it.
He wasn't around for any of the $5 foot long stuff?
I don't quote me on that, but let's hope not.
Man, that was a crazy fall from grace, right?
Well, when you do what he does, he deserves to go to
When it turns out you're a monster. And now we're down to 2 people. We brought up Jared from Subway fame, and we're now back down to our 3 expected people. Let me check out this new stream. No! Get out! Find somebody else. I'm not listening to this.
These guys are talking about Subway. I said, nope, I'm
Nope,
out.
they were talking about that pedophile, Jared. And whether or not he was around for the $5 footlong ad, I can't remember, and I hate him and them now. That's us.
Block, mute, unfollow, unsubscribe. Why is it like a really southern person?
It's worse than
I know we're
that.
the southeast, but
It's worse than that, man. It's like abrasively, almost like borderline Cajun. Like there's a certain like offshoot of of their criticism of the Subway commercial. All right, I got news up. You guys ready to rock?
yes.
We're already streaming.
Why not?
I could go to the bathroom, but I'll duck out here in a minute and go to the bathroom. It's cold, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 234 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game podcast. Tonight, they got Yuji Naka! Exclamation point. What could that mean? Find out later. Third wave of Mario Kart DLC details. Team Ninja rebooting 2 games, question mark. Heavy rumors abound. Phil Spencer open to Call of Duty on Sony consoles long term, question mark again. Are we still discussing this? Find out later as we discuss. And we have your late November Game Pass games. That is a small bit of news. We're trying to get this episode straight into your ear holes. Thank you for joining us live if you're here. Thank you for listening to the podcast on whatever podcast aggregate your ear holes like to receive it in. After a recording fact, we appreciate you as well. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster. Right at the finish line, completing the news, Brant McKee.
What's up?
He's here. It's Brant.
I completed the news earlier today, man.
Did you? I feel like
it was much earlier today.
I feel like when I checked it, I had nothing, and then I was like, man, next time I log on, I'll go ahead and start filling out some stuff. And then the next time I looked, it was there.
Yeah, it was
so well done.
I can tell you exactly when it was. It was 10 after 10:30.
Oh, that was early. I think I checked early. Then I got busy. I mean, I wasn't getting busy. I was already previously busy at that point. Thanks for clarifying. Also here is Lore Master and Page Master, Cesar Concepcion the second. Cesar, welcome. Cesar, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes.
It's cold. It's cold in Georgia. I think I saw it's 27 earlier.
Yeah, it got down there.
Yeah, right now we're in, what was it, 45? Everybody's, if you're watching live on the YouTubes or the Twitches, you'll see us bundled up. Except Brant. It's a sauna in Brant's house.
It's pretty manageable.
Brant has defied the power gods and set his thermostat to 85 degrees. It is balmy in there. There's a chance of a thunderstorm later on tonight. Quite humid.
I gotta set up the hot tub in here.
You never took it down. It's still there. The sand is still between your toes as you walk to the hot tub and jump in. It's all balmy. Steamy, foggy in there. All right, let's get in the news. It's cold as shit. They got Yuji Naka. What the hell is this? I saw this news. It was bizarre. This comes from Saurumano Gamatsu. Yuji Naka arrested in Dragon Quest Tact insider trading scandal. Naka said to have purchased 2.8 million yen in aiming shares ahead of game's announcement. Yuji Naka, one of the co-creators of the Sonic the Hedgehog series, has been arrested by the Special Investigation Department of the Tokyo District Public Prosecutor's Office in an insider trading scandal involving former employer Square Enix, of which he created Masterpiece, Cesar's #1 game of the year last year. Go listen to the podcast, Balan Wonderland. World. Are we all owners of this game now? Did we all get a copy at $10?
No, I actually don't.
No, I got one.
I think it's on the PlayStation extras though. So
it is.
I could download a copy immediately.
Cesar, are you a happy owner of a physical copy of Yuji Naka's latest gem?
I don't know.
Not sure.
I'm sure he's got it.
Oh, Cesar, you have a copy. $10, man. We had this $10 discussion.
Sure. I guess you've seen it.
I haven't. I'm just asking. Anyways, according to the Special Investigation Department, Naka learned in January 2020 Square Enix, where he was then an employee, was collaborating with Caravan Stories developer Aiming to develop Dragon Quest Tact. I've never heard of Caravan Stories. Is that a big popular mobile title?
Not sure, actually.
He then allegedly purchased about 10,000 shares of Aiming for approximately 2.8 million yen before the title was announced, suspecting that the company's stock price would rise after the announcement. Taisuke Sasaki, another former Square Enix employee and acquaintance of Fumiaki Suzuki, were also arrested today on suspected insider trading. The pair are believed to have purchased about 162,000 shares of Aiming for approximately 47.2 million yen ahead of Dragon Quest Tact's announcement. Wait, so is Dragon Quest Tact a thing yet? Do we know what this is? Should we know?
Does not sound familiar.
Should we know what this is? None of the links that Sal put on Dragon Quest, like his tags, lead to Dragon Quest Tact anything. This was wild when it came out, though, because it's like Yuji Naka, really? Famed Sega developer?
So yes, initial release date was July 16th, 2020, Android and iOS.
This is kind of a delayed thing, right? I mean, you're talking 2 years after the fact.
Yeah.
I
guess it took them a minute to catch on.
Yeah. I don't see much about this. I'm guessing we didn't get this in the West.
I don't know. It looks like...
It kind of looks like we got it, right?
Yeah. Kind of looks like we got it.
Friend of the show, McLeod, is currently screaming at the radio, possibly, about a Dragon Quest title that we don't know anything about.
It's on. It says the Apple App Store has it 4.8 out of 5.
Yeah, here's a Square Enix tweet from 2 years ago.
I can get it off the Google.
How do we not know this existed? I've never heard of this before.
Over 500k downloads, so 4.4 out of 5. Rated E for everybody.
Thanks, Brant. Thanks for clarifying for all those E for everybody that wasn't 10+ and were unsure whether they could download Dragon Quest Tact. It's interesting they do this in Japan because we have like politicians that know things are coming down the line and do insider trading, and nothing seems to happen to them.
Oh, yeah, there's damn people in Congress.
Yeah, there's a pandemic coming. I guess I better buy some stocks and masks and stuff, and then take certain stances on masks.
And that was actually both sides. It wasn't
also
one party
true
or the other. There were both sides that were investing into several different medical.
Also true.
Medical.
Welcome to America,
companies.
everybody. If we have any outside listeners, it's crazy here. All right, so is he up against anything? Does it actually say any sort of trials, or how do they? I don't think Sal Romano's.
I don't know. This was
like yesterday,
recent,
right?
So yeah, this happened a day or two ago.
So more to find out later. I mean, I'm sure you're not held in prison. You're arrested, but I'm sure you're not held in prison for insider trading. That's kind of like, are you a threat to society and you're going to insider trade again unless they keep you, how does that work?
It says he was
unless they consider you
arrested on suspected insider trading, so he hasn't been formally charged yet.
So it may get to a point where it's not like a formal...
He's got to go to court and get formally charged.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And also, I mean, we don't necessarily know how the legal system works.
We do not, unless Cesar has some insight.
90% of the people usually get prosecuted as guilty.
I do remember hearing that.
It's very
straight through. Once you get to that point, it's pretty closed up, bang up, whatever the term might be.
Usually when you get to court, you're probably going to be guilty.
All right, so maybe we have a Yuji Naka update. Did he go back into retirement after Balan Wonder World? He was like,
he
hands out of gaming.
Balan got we had that whole story where Balan pretty much got taken out of his hands.
Yeah.
Technically, he wanted to take more time and take it in a certain direction, and Square Enix was, I guess, pretty much exhausted with the resources working on it, and just released it.
Yeah, they pulled Kojima, kicked him out before he finished his game.
According to him, did we ever hear them rebuttal or anything?
Yeah, we never heard anything about that, and who knows? I mean, they could have known something similar to this, because there was, like you said, a couple other Square Enix executives tied.
That could be why he was relieved of duties. Unceremoniously. Oh, my charger's dying. I'm fighting this thing.
Well, the other thing you'll be fighting to do is download all these new DLC tracks. From
what are we getting? Give me Rainbow Road.
So actually, yes, you will get.
It is a Rainbow Road.
This comes from Andrew Webster via The Verge.
Not the dictionary, yeah.
Or the composer of Phantom of the Opera. I'll take Famous Webster's. Or the 80s sitcom.
Yeah. Did I do that?
I'll take Famous Webster's for 400.
Oh, damn.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Wave 3 of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's DLC is coming to us in December. We get 8 new courses, of course, ranging from several different Mario Kart games. We are getting the Rock Cup.
Oh, my favorite. That one includes tracks from Scorpion King,
Johnson.
The Baywatch reboot.
Surprised you can name 3 different rock movies. They're all the same damn thing.
I was out after.
Was it Walk Tall? Was it
Walking Tall?
Walking Tall or Walking Hard or something like that? I can't remember.
The Rundown is a good one.
Rundown, yeah.
We're going off the rails early here tonight.
I don't know, like at least 2 out of the 10 Fast and the Furious movies, probably.
The Tooth Fairy?
Be a good guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Tooth
Fairy.
No. Yeah.
The Spy Hunter Xbox games and PS2 games, wasn't he supposed to be in a movie? And then I don't think it ever came out, but he's on the cover of the games.
All right, so we can smell what this cup is cooking in Mario Kart 8. You get London Tour Loop from Mario Kart Tour, Boo Lake from the GBA game, Rock Mountain from the 3DS.
That's the Rock.
Maple Tree Way.
Oh, that was a good map. That was a good map.
Then we have
At least played version of the game.
The Moon Cup. Moon Cup includes Tour Berlin Byways from Mario Kart Tour, Peach Gardens from the DS, Merry Mountain from Mario Kart Tour, and the 3DS iteration of Rainbow Road.
Was that the one with like the asteroids and stuff? Was that one of the first ones that didn't have 3 laps? Like it was 3 segments in a row.
I'm trying to remember.
I know the Wii U one and the Switch one is like that, but I can't specifically remember the 3DS Rainbow Road. That Mario Kart 2 or Merry Mountain, is that the first one that's not like city themed? Because we've had Sydney, we've had Paris, Berlin.
I mean, the other 2 ones that are on here are Berlin and London.
What's Merry?
So there's a Tokyo one.
Merry Mountain.
So I don't.
Peach Gardens from DS. Was that the one where you're on clouds and there's like vines growing up, and you could jump off the vines or jump off the clouds and everything in the course?
According to Mario Kart Tour Wiki, Merry Mountain's a race course in
Mario Kart Tour.
The course takes place around a small festive village by Foggy Mountain, decorated with Christmas presents and candy canes.
So it's more holiday themed than like city centric. Okay.
But of course, we'll get those because they're included with your online expansion pass.
Thank you, Cesar. Cesar, are you maxed out on your family membership there? You are.
I am.
Otherwise, you're still paying what is it, $25, and you get the whole pack, the DLC pack for them. You can download the waves as they come out.
And I've played these. I've played the booster pack stuff that Cesar so generously provided for us through contributions from listeners and viewers like you. But I've played a couple rounds of the and myself and a couple listeners that I know of. But I've played those. They don't feel like top tier. This isn't. I don't know. I have nothing to complain about. Like the tour stuff is weird, but even at that, like they change up the way the courses go throughout the 3 laps and stuff, and it's more Mario Kart on top of what we already have, and we're not paying that much for it. So I kind of don't have any complaints. It's not. I still don't think we need a Mario Kart 9. MPD charts still say we don't need Mario Kart 9.
Yeah, until this stops selling.
We know there's a new Mario Kart coming when Nintendo stops putting it in their holiday bundle, which has been part of their holiday bundle for the past 4 years.
Yeah. since damn release almost.
And they have yet to have to drop the price of the system either, so. More.
I know I didn't put it in news, but somebody asked them about that, but they have no plans to increase the price of hardware at the moment, so.
They, I think, and it's common knowledge, it's not like us speculating on here, but they, above the other two console manufacturers, have the highest profit margin on hardware. As far as, I don't know, they may get to weird availability stuff with that old system on a chip. Cesar, have you heard anything about that? Yeah. That old Tegra chipset being retired or unproduced, or any sort of issues they might run into with that?
I mean, I think it was retired long ago.
But so were they just sitting on like all the ones they made potentially?
Possibly.
That'd be wild. And we're on Tegra 2, or there's a Tegra 3 now? I fell out of this a while ago.
Don't know off the top of my head.
Well, when I was initially chasing, like when the first start of the Switch Pro stuff started, which feels like 3 years ago, I feel like I was keeping up with what would that look like? What is that capable of now? Because we basically have a Nintendo form of an NVIDIA Shield, right? And so what would that next Shield hardware engineered specifically for Nintendo look like? And I haven't checked in on that in many years. And it seems like Nintendo has not either, so we're still trucking away with what we got. All their bundles are lights and OLEDs, and well, not even bundles, but just their available SKUs are lights and bundles and the extended battery one. So look forward to that new wave of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe hardware.
To answer your question, report NVIDIA to end production of Nintendo Switch Tegra chip, and that was reported in March 11, 2021.
The end of the Tegra 1 production?
Mm-hmm. At some point in 2021, they don't make them anymore.
So we have a whole year of production from this year that is potentially, it's not that system on a chip. Or they're running through available stock of those.
Or a modified version of whatever they're making now.
They started producing Fegras to slip in there, and it's kind of like what we had in the other one. It'll be fine. Nobody will notice. That DLC, Wave 3 of its Booster Course Pass DLC, will be coming, as Brant said, December 7th. So you'll be able to celebrate Pearl Harbor Day with another round of Mario Kart tracks. A booster pack which shall live in infamy. Next up, Team Ninja. Remember those guys?
Yeah,
who is Team Ninja anymore? It's not Itagaki, right? He's gone. This comes from Andy Robinson at VideoGameChronicle.com. Team Ninja reportedly confirms Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive reboot plans. The studio wants to share more news, quote, as soon as possible. That's according to a translation of a talk the developer's president held in South Korea this week. According to RuliWeb, never heard of RuliWeb, Fumihiko Yasuda said during a panel at the G-Star conference in Busan that he was working to bring fans more news as soon as possible. A slide reportedly shown at the end of this panel, picture below, shows images of both classic Team Ninja series, along with the headline, The Future of Team Ninja, Reboot of Popular Series in Japanese. Responding to the story, Koei Tecmo Games spokesperson told VGC, "We have nothing to announce at this time." VGC has requested additional clarification and will update the story again if they receive it. VGC notes that Ninja Gaiden has not seen a mainline installment since 2013's Ninja Gaiden 3. I didn't realize it had been that long. That was
funny because the slides just says series reboot.
Not coming soon or anything. It's not confirmed or anything like that.
Something it says series reboot. That's what it says.
Yeah, something they're looking into potentially.
Yeah,
who is not like looking at their back catalog for that type of stuff?
Yeah, but I know we talked about, and they even talk about it or mention it down in this article, how they are not ruling out the possibility of working with other companies to produce these games. And I know it's kind of an out there rumor right now. Nothing with these has been confirmed that they're in development or any other sort of thing, but there's a rumor floating around that possibly Platinum is working with them to do the Ninja Gaiden, but that's just like that's a rumor of a rumor, basically. And like Richard said, we haven't had a Ninja Gaiden game since Ninja Gaiden 3, and then the last Dead or Alive game, I know, was not a favorite among their core fan base, and also the fact that they monetized the hell out of it did not help it at all. But it'll be interesting to see exactly if or when they reboot these, because I know especially Ninja Gaiden, for a lot of people, it at least the first two are really held up high.
And the second version of the third one was good.
Yeah, I was about to say, the second version of that third ones were not bad, and we did get that Ninja Gaiden collection, 2 years ago now?
God, has it been that long? Ago?
Yeah, it was like March or something.
That was a good collection, right? Oh, I tried it on Xbox and got my ass beat.
It's the furthest I ever got in Ninja Gaiden 1, so.
Was it? Was that a collection?
Mm-hmm.
What was that remake of the third one called? Like Razor's Edge. That's right. I was about to say Blade of the Sword, Edge of the Blade of the Sword, but that wasn't right. I was like, yeah.
That would have worked too. Yeah.
Good translation.
I would have believed you.
I'm in charge of the translation.
Those are all Ninja Gaiden type things.
That's the one we got a Wii U, right?
Yeah, and then they ported it over to the PS3 and 360 afterwards.
Did the Wii U one...
It's actually pretty... I think it's still expensive to get the PS3 one.
Is it? Did the Wii U one add anything? Like, did it use a gamepad or anything?
I probably put like 40 hours into my Wii U, so...
39 of that was Mario Kart. The one was Splatoon.
Yeah, and the 1 hour me getting my ass kicked in Smash.
No, you played both of the Zeldas on there. You beat Twilight Princess on Wii U. That's a good... That's the best way to play Twilight Princess. That's the best way to play Wind Waker.
Yeah, I did beat Twilight Princess. I didn't beat Wind Waker, though.
I remember when you played through Twilight Princess. I think Russell and I were trying to do the same right after that. It looked so good on my plasma. I was blown away by how Twilight Princess looked and played on Wii U. Man, we were so starved for Wii U games. We were snatching up those ports. We didn't realize. Those were great. Those were great versions of those games. I know we talked about it last week, like the last holdouts of the Wii U versus the Switch ports, and I sent y'all that chart that I think IGN did, and both of those Zelda games were on it.
For now.
They are there. Is that rumor still that they're going to be coming to...
I was about to say that rumor that's... We've
like Metroid Prime.
I mean, yeah, they're still in that weird warehouse with the Ark of the Covenant with the Metroid Prime trilogy.
With Metroid,
and the top men.
They're all in that same case.
Just hanging out.
Who's guarding the Zelda Switch ports? Top men.
We're gonna get. We were supposed to get with the Zelda 35th. All the Zeldas, the Age of Oracles and Seasons and Twilight Princess and Wind Waker.
Dedicated Zelda box.
3DO ones. Yeah, 3DO ones as well.
Yep.
Toilet wand of Gamelon.
The whole shebang.
I'm so hungry, I can eat an Octorok.
Renee said he didn't beat Wind Waker either. I got to the same place I got on the freaking GameCube. I'm in the Earth Temple. I'm with the Rudo.
Well, I thought you almost said Earth, Wind, Fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire Temple.
You had me there.
Well, we're past September, so.
I heard it last night at a wedding. It's like a wedding staple. I can get back to that. That story's not like that deep. I can get back to that and knock those last couple dungeons out. Because I think I've got that dungeon, one more dungeon, and then like the Triforce Hunt, and then Ganondorf. So I think I'm towards the end of that. I did I think that first COVID summer, I was playing Black Flag and Wind Waker Wii U simultaneously. I think we have an episode called the sail genre or something like that. I was like, I'm just gonna play games with boats. I just want to sail places, and I was playing Animal Crossing at the same time.
Was living your stepbrother's dream, boats.
Yes, I was with Wind Waker and Assassin's Creed. Is it the boats and hose genres now instead of the sail genre?
Sure, let's go with that.
Sea shanties.
It's whatever you want. It's whatever you want it to be, man.
Sea shanties.
Whatever you want it to be.
I always appreciate a good Step Brothers reference anywhere. That's pretty good. All right. What would you guys want to see from? Let's say these things are coming. What would y'all want to see from a new Dead or Alive or Ninja Gaiden? What do they have to offer?
A 4 or a 7.
Ninja Gaiden 4 and Dead or Alive 7, just a number at the end of it.
There we go. Yep, there. Yeah, that's all I need to see, man. You had me at that. Yep.
You had me at that. Just put a number at the end. I'm good. Mm-hmm. Didn't Dead or Alive?
I was laughing because I think that there was a couple months ago where Xbox had all the Dead or Alive games on for sale, but like 2 of them or something like that, like 6 and 5, and somebody made a comment like all these added up doesn't equal 7.
Internet geniuses.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, because they would have been hounded. It would have added up to 7, and they would have been hounded. Dead or Alive 7 announcement imminent. It's coming. Renee.
Yeah, I think it was like 1, 2, 3 or something like that, and you're like, oh, none of these.
Oh, both the Ultimate games and 3. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Renee says he gave up on Wind Waker. He was a little lost and decided to quit. Still have the game. Don't we all?
I've never beaten it. I've never played it.
It's so good. It's
my favorite Zelda.
That was one of the things where, because of the age I was, and I loved Zelda games, but it came out on the GameCube, and I loved my GameCube, but I looked at that Zelda and was like, that's too cartoony. What are they making, a Zelda game for babies? But what's so weird is I never played that, but I played both of the technically
the CDI games.
Yeah.
That no, the DS ones, Spirit Train and Phantom Hourglass, and I loved those.
So you've never played Wind Waker? Brant!
No, and I've played. I've got the HD for Wii U.
Yeah, but
me, so don't worry.
Yeah, Phantom Hourglass takes place like a year or 2 after that.
Brant, you've never played Wind Waker?
I played the demo. At one of the
man, like 4 minutes in, you realize that art style and the kitty look and all that is gonna be awesome because his eyes are so descriptive. Like he looks at weapons and he looks at doors.
Oh yeah.
And they ended up adopting that into Twilight Princess, so it had the older look to it and all that kind of stuff, which is what people were clamoring for after that. But I immediately loved that cell shading art style, and it has aged so well.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks well. But I mean,
that's all. I mean, I understand what you were saying because that's all the marketing and that's all the magazines and that's all the stores. That's all everyone was talking about at the time.
But I know even Miyamoto was a little apprehensive on the style at the time as well, because I know I've heard that, and I look back at it and I'm like, well, that was. Really, I mean,
that's not you. That's literally everyone. Everyone in gaming.
Yeah, that was just about everybody at that time.
I was just in the store and I told an individual working in the store, I was like, I bought the very first version of Wind Waker from this location, and the HD remaster 10 or 12 years later, whatever it was. And that's been like 10 years almost. It's crazy, man. That is a good title. There's some aggravating parts to it, and it wasn't complete. And I thought there was a lot of rumor with the HD one that was coming out that they would like add that extra dungeon type thing. They would finish fleshing out that, because that game had to ship. It had to come out. The GameCube was already falling behind, and that was going to be one of the big things coming out and that kind of stuff. Because, not to spoil the first part of the game, I know you've heard content was cut, right, Brant? So, like, just in the beginning of... Renee said, shame on you, Brant. Get out of here. Get out of here, Renee. You didn't even finish it, just like me. But, like, where you get the first 3 things, like the Forest Stone, the Fire Stone, and the Water Stone in Ocarina, like to unlock the next part, you do the first 2, and then they give you the third one. You just go somewhere in the boat, and they just give you the third one. So people are like, was this a dungeon? Should this have been a dungeon? And I would love to see, maybe that's what the delay for the Switch one is. Maybe they're like, hey, we brought this back out, and Grezzo grabbed a hold of this code, and not even wishful thinking there.
No, I mean Nintendo's busy right now putting more bugs into Scarlet and Violet.
They're expert coders.
Well, shoot, I sent you both of those stories from Did You Know Gaming on the Lost Zelda games that we never got.
Did you send us? Where?
I know I sent you.
Where did I get that?
Remember the one?
Oh yeah, I watched that one. Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh gosh, they did a part 2. There was 2 different versions of the game that was one was supposed to be like Chic style game, and then the other one was a canceled game, and these were Retro Studio titles. And the other one was supposed to follow a young child as they basically they found this book, and they would read the pages and basically relive the tales of a Rudo, a Zora, and a Goron. These warriors that all had, and it was like a tactic style game.
Kind of sounds like that was after Majora's Mask, right? Because that kind of sounds like a Majora's Mask influence.
Kind of, yeah. It was one of those things where, I think they even said it was a little bit darker Zelda game, and it didn't even involve, like, Link was in it, like in some of the cutscenes and things like that, but he wasn't the main character.
He was the flower girl you recruited later on if you did certain missions the right way.
No,
you go on a date with that Link at the Golden Saucer.
Uh-huh.
I think it involved like Ganon actually winning, and the heroes having to save Link or something. So it sounded extremely interesting, but Nintendo didn't want anything to do with it. And then it almost sounds like some of those story beats wound up making it into Breath of the Wild, because we had the 4
and that Sheikah lore in like Zelda lore is not super deep. You've got some very basic tenets. It's not. You don't have to understand. You don't have to play 18 games to play Breath of the Wild or anything like that. But that Sheikah lore is very, very good as they've like gone through the ages. Just like, the Link Zelda, the 3 Triforce pieces has been. We've heard multiple iterations of that tale, and they can continue to tell those, and we'll continue buying that game, right? It's like Mario trying to save the princess from Bowser and the iterations of that, and we'll continue with that. But the Sheikah lore is actually really good and pretty deep, and would be a very interesting take on a bunch of that stuff, like a stealth version of it, or there's no telling.
I know that art that they showed in that video.
Yeah, they called it Winback. They released it.
Winback.
As that's our co-host, a Metal Gear Solid stream in his background. I had a good point about something. You're still getting Wind Waker shamed, by the way, in the chat, Brant. Friend of the show, Renee, says, at least I played the game with crying emojis after that.
All right, well, I'll play
Stream it. Stream it on Wii U. It's good.
I can.
And I'll say it's good. Like, I remember alternating, because even though I have the extended battery thing on the Wii U pad, sometimes it was like... But it's nice to switch weapons with that and stuff like that, so... But you can play it equally with the Pro Controller and the gamepad. Speaking of which, this is a slight offshoot. It was either on Twitter, it was either Dan Reichert or Jeff Grubb was ranking video game controllers. They put the Wii U in like near the bottom, not the gamepad. That's fine. People thought it was like Fisher Price tablet, that kind of thing. The Wii U Pro Controller to me is an amazing controller.
Where did they put the Switch Pro Controller?
Above the Wii U Pro Controller.
It's the same.
It's got a different feel to it, but I really like that Wii U Pro Controller. I've got a full set of 4 of those just because I like those so much. Brant, all right. So Brant's got both of them for the audio listeners.
I guess it's the
offset. Brant's holding both of them. Brant, just like close your eyes or think you're playing something and just hold both of them. Give both of them their own grasps. No, not for the video. Not for the video people. For the podcast listeners.
So, I will say the Switch Pro Controller is much more akin to a Xbox One controller. The Wii U pad controller, while the small shoulder buttons kind of bother me.
I love that controller.
Triggers, I guess.
I think they're equally
great. Shoulder buttons, but This is so much lighter. The way it fits in your hands and where the sticks are, the stick placement. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah, but can it fit in your pocket?
No, probably not. I will say.
Can you attend rooftop parties with it?
Sticks. Offset
can you just
sticks
pull that out of your pocket,
better.
or are they just happy to see you? Like, are you happy to see somebody, or is it a Wii U controller?
Does it snap when you break it out to play with?
When you play Mary on the rooftop?
Oh, damn,
they always do. See, that's another thing with the Wii U Pro Controller. The battery lasts forever. It lasts forever. And then, so those of us, we were all day one Wii U adopters, correct? Which just turned 10 years. Yes. Did I see that right? Yes. The Wii U just turned 10 years old. Which is bizarre to me. Yeah. But remember, it got to a point, every game involved the gamepad. And then like a year in maybe, or 9 to 12 months in that, they released an update where you could like boot it up without the gamepad and that kind of stuff. And they started unchaining the gameplay from the gamepad, like forcing you to do that. So that Pro Controller, having one of those was like a godsend for a bunch of those games. It's like, finally, I can play this like a normal game system and not have to have the gamepad constantly, charged or plugged in or constrained to the experience. God damn, how'd we end up talking about the Wii U for 30 fucking minutes?
You did, I was just sitting here.
Because it's a goddamn beautiful console, sir. And it's
It is, and I can't remember who was talking about it, but I think it's going to end up being one of those crazy expensive consoles down the road. For some reason. For the Nintendo wackos out there. Like the Dreamcast, I think, could be in that territory, and Dreamcast software certainly is. But this is like a specific type of hardware, and I think that the Nintendo Wii U hardware is going to be crazy expensive down the road.
Like your beloved Virtual Boy?
Yes, my beloved Virtual Boy. Which is useless now because of the Oculus Quest emulator on the alternate storefront. There's a Virtual Boy controller at Second Charles last time I was there. I thought about grabbing it. Complete the madness.
Why not?
I already have one Brant that I don't play.
Yeah, they still sell new copies of Virtual Boy games.
Really? What do they have?
The Atlas game.
Jack Brothers?
Mascot. Jack Brothers.
How much is it on Play Asia? It's like $900 on the English one. It's the same game, right?
I think so. I gotta look again because somebody was like posting pictures when they were buying them.
I never played that one. The two, Mario Tennis is good. Wario Land is amazing, and I love Mario Clash. I think Mario Clash was a really, really good Mario Brothers style game, not Super Mario Brothers. I'm not here to defend the Virtual Boy though. It's not happening.
Okay. No, it looks like they finally sold out. But it was on there for a while.
Well, it's probably a good way to complete the collection is having that one because, damn. Some Virtual Boy titles are ridiculous. Mine were, the 3 or 4 that I had were stolen in a storage space incident. All I have now is Mario Tennis and the baseball one, Virtual Baseball or whatever it is. And Mario Tennis obviously was eclipsed by, like, the next one. It's a good novelty, but Game Boy Color one is better. 64 one is better. The Switch one is probably not better. But, I mean, it's better than...
Oh, at this point, it's probably got enough updates.
Yep, I need to give it another shot after all this.
Because that's what happens with the damn Switch games now. They ship them.
They do. They're like, Nintendo games are pretty good on the cartridge. They're not really live service games except for the sports ones. They just fix those as time goes by. And then Mario Golf isn't the same thing as the cartridge you bought. So, or Splatoon. Even Splatoon's like I would say their best live service game. Oh God, let's move on to the next story. Brant, you want to talk about Phil Spencer and Call of Duty as we deep dive into this one last time, hopefully? I listened to this podcast, by the way. It was a very good podcast.
The next time we're hopefully going to talk about this, we're going to either have a yay or a nay on the deal. And this article does retread a lot of the same BS that we've talked about before. of the deal.
And that's, of course, Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard, publishers and developers and everything else of the Call of Duty franchise.
Mm-hmm. But the newer portion is, speaking to The Verge, Decoder podcast, Phil Spencer explained that he was open to making a commitment that would make Sony and global regulators happy. So his actual quote is, the idea would that we would write a contract that says the word forever in it, I think, is a little
because you
silly.
Can't promise that. You can't put that on anything.
No, they would never put like indefinitely or forever or anything like that. Because everybody's in this business to make
And I can remember when Activision Blizzard first merged and how crazy and huge that deal was.
Not only that, companies, deals need to evolve over time. So let's see. But to make a long-term commitment that Sony would be comfortable with, and that regulators would be comfortable with, I have.
Which is the key part of this tale of woe, is their pending acquisition.
Because everybody's still investigating the deal. And of course, like I said, the article later goes on to talk about how the former deal or current deal that they had offered Sony was, to stay on the platform for several more years.
I think 10 years was elaborated on after that.
Well, who was it? Jim Ryan came out and had said that it was only like 3 years. And then, we were starting to hear something that, like, oh no, it was supposed to be 10 years, but there's so much of this back and forth, he said, she said.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with all this crap, it's, like I said, it's, hopefully this deal can go through and we can stop talking about it. I mean, Phil has been on record saying that he doesn't think console exclusives are something that's sustainable in in the future, that more being able to play these games anywhere and everywhere a person wants to play them is kind of his jam, what he wants to
and he specifically mentioned, and I think we brought up on this podcast before he talked about this, was Minecraft. Minecraft is available on
that's everywhere.
PS3, Wii U, that keeps coming up. Take a shot every time you hear Wii U mentioned on this podcast. The 3DS. The new 3DS specifically, right? Yeah, the Vita. Right, so he's almost to the point where he's like, why would we not get those sales on that, those hardware, that hardware, that install base for a franchise like a Call of Duty? But a lot of the stuff, again, is as these regulators are looking at him and listening to interviews, and he's not going to give ammunition to the fire. All of his ammunition is going to be to put out the fire. He keeps bringing up, like, we're in third place. We're the number 3 console manufacturer. We have been since we started. He's like, since the first Xbox, we've been in third place, which is funny to hear that. Like, we're behind. We're always behind. We're the newcomers. We're trying to figure this thing out still. So, that was a very good interview across the board. Like, he doesn't see everything going to xCloud or Game Pass or anything like that. He genuinely wants people to play games wherever they are. And you see these old Sony execs talking to him on Twitter, and like even Reggie Fils-Aimé talked to him here and there, and it's fun to see when they're outside. I know he's still he's Microsoft's VP of Games division specifically, but it's fun on Twitter and stuff to see these interactions from these former game industry luminaries where they're talking about his impact and things he's done and stuff like that. He's a great face for Xbox, and these are really good interviews, but there is a business behind it. Like, there's a reason behind all these decisions and purchases and all that sort of stuff. Renee said, is that Xbox standards? What is that? What do you mean, Renee? What is Xbox standards? I'm not quite sure what the context of the question is. I like the question, though. But it was a good interview. And I think the Sony concern is Game Pass. Like, is it going to get locked behind Game Pass immediately? Ends up being one of the main points of contention. if they were thinking of doing that, I know we don't do NPD sales and stuff like that, but they said today this is the best-selling Call of Duty in a long, long time. This is the fastest-selling one, all that kind of stuff. Brant, did you get a copy yet? Everybody I know has a copy. Brant didn't jump.
No, I haven't yet.
He's waiting.
And even if I buy it, it's going to be digitally, because there's no reason to get.
It's a Halo Infinite. It's a Halo Infinite situation with the disc,
and that's on every console. There's I forget how many megabytes on the disc. There's hardly anything.
Renee says, friend of the show Sly will disagree with Spencer about exclusives. Sly has not been paying attention to Microsoft's recent moves. They seem to want you to be able to play kind of anywhere, anytime sort of thing. They do not seem to be very Xbox standard about exclusives.
Unless you're Bethesda, and then Starfield's only on Xbox.
They have confirmed that is the case. Like this stuff goes back and forth. I can't even remember what it was. Yeah. Okay. That does make sense, but they didn't like the.
Or I think they also confirmed Elder Scrolls 6 is also on Xbox as well. So.
I was about to say, those Bethesda games, they are. They let Deathloop go because that was currently under that contract. So
yeah, that and the Tokyo game too. So
that kind of makes sense. Do you think the next Doom game, like the next the successor to Doom Eternal, do you think that would be a console exclusive? For a franchise like Doom, it's kind of mind-blowing. But I think we also view Elder Scrolls and Wolfenstein and those other type titles in the same. Are they in the same pantheon as an Elder Scrolls? I mean, I know people have high hopes for Starfield, but it's kind of like Cyberpunk, right? Like we don't know what that IP is. What they're doing with it might suck. It might not be as interesting as the stuff they've made before. They don't just get a pass because The Witcher 3 was amazing, right? We saw publications, reviewers, fan base. We saw everybody react to that. Have they made good on Cyberpunk since then? I would think they have, with the sales numbers and Steam, concurrent user records and the anime they created. Like, they didn't abandon it. They didn't give up on that.
Yeah.
I probably answered my own question. I probably made my way back around.
Yeah. I think, was it also Redfall?
Redfall is only Xbox. Well. Okay.
But damn, Bethesda games always ship right now. Always.
Brant's two piece of advice. He says, wait for the Game of Year edition, and then wait for the next console iteration of that same title, and then you're gonna get a great experience. Hey, I was playing Skyrim the other day on Quick Resume. I haven't played that game since July, and it fired up right when I left it in July. I was playing Skyrim. Maybe they don't need to have another Elder Scrolls, because they turned around the Elder Scrolls Online. Remember, that thing shit the bed as soon as it came out. Nobody wanted to play that, and now it's a big live service. They're making money off of it.
Yeah,
and that's on everything. All right, is there anything more to do with this deal? Microsoft might be willing to make concessions.
No, it's
and it was a really good podcast. I definitely say go check it out. Listen to the whole thing. The Verge's Decoder podcast. And I like seeing the official Verge guys and Phil Spencer like with our type setup. Like they're just they just have headphones over a microphone and they're just talking to each other about video games. That's what we're doing. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Brant, you want to tell me about Game Pass games? We can only have one Warhammer game at a time. Only one Warhammer. Only one of the 4,000. That's why we have so many to pick from.
So I think, let's see, let me just double check. It looks like most of these, except for a couple at the end here, are already available. These are your Xbox Game Pass for the month of the end of November. We have Pentiment, Somerville, Dune Spice Wars. That is a game preview for
Is that the
PC.
port of like that 93 title or 94 or something like that? Like it's an old school PC game? What does it say? Has it got a...
Honestly, I don't remember. I'm looking through the
4X real-time strategy game for the developers of the critically acclaimed Northgard. No, I'm talking about something else. Carry on, Brant. Totally wrong.
Also for PC, you have Ghost Lore. Cloud console PC, Lampus.
They said Ghost Horror. I was like, oh shit.
It's a VR title. Cesar.
I had to look up to double check the name. I was like, oh, okay,
what's Brant talking about?
I was like, holy shit.
Cloud and console, Nocore. And then here are the titles that are coming.
Point and click narrative adventure game.
Yeah, these next 4 titles are coming within the next couple of days, as of this podcast anyway. Gungrave Gore.
New Gungrave game.
We have. It's been how long since a damn Gungrave game? I remember I haven't played a Gungrave game since.
There was a VR one, wasn't there? Wasn't there a VR title? Or am I misremembering that?
Yeah. There was definitely a VR title.
Was that a good game, Brant?
Yeah, I remember it being.
Brant, how are these all within like? You just reach over and grab them. What do you mean we're getting a new? What do you mean we're getting a new 50 Cent title? Here's here. Yeah, here we have his most recent outing, 50 Cent in Blood on the Sand.
No, that's not Blood on the Sand. Is that Blood on the Sand?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Currently on sale, the successful sequel to highly rated Ace Combat 6. Brant just pulling out these titles like randomly. They're all right there. We might talk about these. I'll set up the stack right next to the microphone.
Insurgency Sandstorm, coming November 29th, Cloud and Console. Soccer Story.
It's actually a World Cup happening right now, so fitting release for Soccer Story.
And as you said, we are getting another Warhammer 40k Dark Tide for PC. Available. This is a day one with PC.
This one looks good. We saw this one at E3, I think. I think this was like a Horde third-person action adventure type title. That one looked good.
Looks like you can get some Elder Scrolls Online Firesong DLC. As long as Dark Heart of Skyrim Celebration.
What even is that game DLC, anymore?
I don't know. Dead by Daylight Forged in Fog DLC. They are getting another Metaverses MVP pack.
Who comes in that one? Does it say? No, it's just an in-game bundle. Epic variant, epic ring out effect, and rare banner.
Yeah.
Brant, have you gone back to Multiverses? Weren't you trying that out when it first launched? Yeah.
It was okay, but like I said, it worked when it worked. It definitely had some internet connectivity issues. Sometimes your character would just bounce all the way off the screen or something, or it was very weird. I haven't gone back to it.
It was buggy, so it was buggy to start with.
Touched it, yeah. There was, I mean, no, it was good when it worked.
When it worked, Brent, you can't follow up with no. It was fine. Everything's cool when it worked.
That is what it is. It's like if you have a sink that sometimes spits out hot water and sometimes doesn't.
Or a slow drain. Like, it works sometimes. Yeah.
Or a slow drain. Yeah, it works when it works, but other times it's just I got a overflowing sink here. You're getting a bunch of touch control added to games that you probably don't want to use touch controls on, like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, how would that work?
Football Manager console, Disneyland Dreamlight, Scorn with touch controls.
Friend of the show, Charles, is loving him some Scorn. He loves everything about that game.
Touch the squishy demon monster.
Yeah, the Geiger penis artwork. You suck at parking? Is that a game?
Celiac disease.
You see it down there? It has touch controls. You suck at parking. Is that a legit game?
Huh.
That seems like something on PlayStation Store that would get you a platinum trophy in like 10 minutes. Tap on the mayonnaise.
Then we have November 30th. We've got some games leaving Game Pass. Arkvale.
Deer Simulator.
Final Fantasy 13-2. Mind Scanners. Mortal Shell. Space Warlord. Organ Trading Simulator.
No, I didn't get a chance to play that. Or actually, I have a week.
Undungeon, and also we're losing.
There can only be one. There can only be one Warhammer game on
Battle
Game Pass.
Sector. Yeah, you can only have one at a time. And that's also, I do know with I want to say the EA Play via Game Pass, you were getting
Battle was the newest Battlefield, right?
It's coming. Battlefield 2042, I believe. And that actually might have been.
Cesar, are we going to jump back in there, or are we going to stay undefeated on Battlefield 2042?
I've already uninstalled it because I need
a big ass install.
Good man.
Brent, we never lost. We steamrolled the competition and we went out on top. I think I got one trophy, and that was it.
Oh, mine lost like 2 or 7.
Flawless victory. Me and Cesar are like, damn, these guys are easy. We're destroying these people. The bots. We didn't ask for that, Cesar. We were trying to play a legitimate game of Battlefield, and we got the bots.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the...
They gave us the you may suck.
That's one of my gaming highlights of the year. I'm not going to lie. Dude, we're like...
feel good about yourself?
As
we're like 10 minutes and it's like, we haven't died yet. We're killing them.
I think we're good, bad. Man. I think we're actually good.
This might be our Battlefield. And then what did we see? Like, they had it was some sort of bot indicator in their name that we started seeing when we would kill them. It wasn't there to start with, but it was like... Yeah.
Or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, man. Is that it for news?
That's
Games played. Let's go. I know we all played Halo. Maybe I finished with that one.
Yeah, we played some Halo. That was about
the new improved Halo.
Together.
An update on Xbox Insignia. Cesar, not Best Buy related branded products like Dynex. I finally got in. So they started releasing. This is just a refresher. This is the reboot of Xbox Live. You were to sign up for it early, and then register your console.
Which Xbox Live is?
Yes, it is. Now? That's what they officially turned on their servers the day of the 20th anniversary, which I think was 11/17, 2002. So exactly 20 years after, you were able to experience Xbox Live as it was. And I won't say I performed poorly on Twitter, but I did express my displeasure in not being one of the initial code invites. I was like, I reached out to you. I've got all of these games. I have all but one game that's currently on their service. Like, please let me try this out. I'm a very passionate hobbyist regarding that first Xbox specifically. I never actually played Xbox Live on the original Xbox. I never got a chance to. We didn't have broadband internet until the 360 was out. So I just totally missed all those early online games, and it had an Ethernet port in the back. So if you didn't have it locally there were like add-ons that would add a wireless connection to your original Xbox to let you connect to a router, that sort of thing. But I reached out to them. I was like, I didn't get a code. I signed up early. I wanted one. It would have been awesome. And they were like, this was random. We just decided we put everybody in a pool. But at the same time, they were putting codes out on Twitter. So anybody could just grab a code and plug it in if you got there fast enough. And so the threads were full of, all right, I got a code and I signed up with my email address. Now I got to find an Xbox and be able to sign up for the service or be able to play the service. and oh boy, I got a code and my email got accepted. Now I got to go find my Xbox in storage, and I'm dying. I'm just dying on the inside. I'm like, man, I'm ready. I have so many of these games. I'm ready to play. Let me in. I'm the Eric Andre. Let me in. Yep. And then they, over the course of the next 2 days, they were like, we released 5,000 codes. We released 3,000 codes. We released 200 codes. And it was never me. And then there was a tweet that said, anyone who signed up and registered, our servers are handling everything. People are not signing up as fast as we thought they would. Everyone has AA code. So as soon as I saw that, I'm screaming through my email. I'm like, please, please, please. And I had gotten one like 4 minutes ago. It's like, yes. So as soon as I get off work, I connect the Xbox to the Ethernet cable, and I go through the setup, and there it is. That's the original Xbox Live setup. The code they send you registers your console, or your console is already registered, lets you create a gamer tag. So if anybody's on the Insignia service, I'm still Highway 81 Beast. You can find me on there. Currently top 10 in the world in Call of Duty Finest Hour. So that's one of my games played. It shows up. So my first interaction with Xbox Live was the 360 version, which was a much more fluid experience and very akin to what we have now, right? Party chat, you can always tell what people are playing, unified gamer tag for everything, which Xbox Live had to a certain extent, but it wasn't like this blanket across every single game that you could use and know was like the underlying system behind everything. So I popped in Call of Duty Finest Hour, and even though I was signed into Xbox Live on my Xbox, I had to sign into it on that game and tell it, I'm ready to go on live with this profile. So it made me sign into it again with my passcode, like get on Xbox Live with this game specifically. And then the menu would say Highway 81 Beast online, and then I could pick like an online game. And nobody was on at this time. The Insignia site is really well done. You can scroll through their available games and see what people are playing. And typically, they're all on the same title. So you'll see the community has picked like Crimson Skies or PSO, or Ghost Recon is up as of today. And the first Star Wars Battlefront is up of today. And you'll see, it'll tell you how many people are playing on that game on their website or their page. And so I popped in Call of Duty Finest Hour just to see, like, man, this is the first console Call of Duty. Let's pop this in and see what it's like. So I started a room all on my own, and within 10 seconds, someone joined. And I'm like, oh, God, I don't know this map. I don't know this game, nothing. Somebody's in here. I got to kill them. So this person and I found each other. We each got a kill, and then they dropped. It was like, I guess they decided this wasn't the amount of people in the game, that sort of thing they wanted to play. So they left. And I had like 6 minutes left, and I'm not sure, like, do I quit? Do I get a ban? Like, is it going to do something to my very new gamer tag on Xbox Live? And I waited maybe another minute or so, and then somebody else came in. And then I never found them. We never saw each other on this map. Like, neither one of us, I guess, knows the ins and outs of this particular Call of Duty map. And if you remember, before we had these well-orchestrated, almost like, Halo maps or Call of Duty maps, it was just a part of the mission in the game. Like, I think this is out of the campaign. It's not a real good map. It's just a section of the game that you can shoot other people in. It wasn't like this well-orchestrated, what's the term? Like, where they have a lot of people test it, like field tested or feedback, that sort of thing. You didn't have a lot of history behind that with these maps. It's just a section of the game that you would play like GoldenEye or the first Medal of Honor. It was just a part of the game that they would plop you into and you'd frag each other. And that was enough at the time. We didn't know about like choke points and like these certain strategic, before we had, was it Team Fortress, and then the other ones that will give you roles, like would give you a healer, or give you a sniper, or, all right, I'm going to stay low and be down in this corner because I have a shotgun. I picked the shotgun class, that sort of thing. Like, we weren't to that point with online. It wasn't there, especially with console. And so that game ended 1-1 tie, and I'm on the leaderboards of Call of Duty Finest Hour for the Xbox. And that's the only thing I've tried so far. They're currently looking at the Xbox Sports Network games. So before EA came on board, they had like their own football game. It was NFL Fever with Peyton Manning on the cover. And they had a baseball game that was called, that's the one I streamed like 2 years ago, MLB Inside Pitch. And they have a hockey series, something, Center Ice maybe? NHL Center Ice? I'm sure I'm wrong on that one. But they're looking, and Topspin I think is the biggest one out of that group. And they're looking to incorporate some of those Xbox Sports Network type servers into this Insignia beta, which I think would be incredible. I would love to play Topspin online again. Friend of the show, Russell, and I used to system link Topspin and just play against each other in opposite rooms on 2 Xboxes and TVs. I love tennis games anyways. Anybody listening to the show or you guys definitely know that, but
especially
that's a good one. Cesar, we played that probably going on 20 years ago now. At least 18 or 19 years. That game's old enough to drink for us, having played that together. That is the Insignia update. I talked way too long about that. Cesar sent us a video clip from Twitter maybe a week ago of Among Us VR. And this individual was playing Among Us VR, and they described it as a horror game. And I was like, you know what? This looks fucking awesome. I'm going to break out my Oculus and check this out. And I convinced, thanks to Cesar, I convinced 2 other individuals to also purchase this game for Oculus. And they were friend of the show, Russell, and friend of the show, Dale. And so we played this together. It's been 3 or 4 nights ago. And this is legit serious game of the year contender. The video... I've never played Among Us. I had no clue what it was going into it. They make you do a little tutorial. So any listeners, and I'm sure I'm very, very much in the minority, there's a ship full of these characters. And I guess the way they make money in the game is to sell like add-ons for the characters, like hats and shirts and things like that. But the game on Oculus is $10, the VR version. And there's a set of... It's almost like Secret Hitler on a card game. If you've played that before, like one person is the bad guy and you don't know who it is. Or if there's 10 people, there's two bad guys. They're imposters. So there's various things that you have to do. If you're a crewmate, which is one of the regular roles, there's various tasks that you have to do around the ship. But you don't really have to do them. I learned quickly, I don't have to do this. I'm just going to walk around and observe people and listen to people. You can't see very far, so as you're walking around the ship in your like a generic alien looking avatar thing, you can't see very far, but you're supposed to be going to do these tasks, and you can hear people as they get close to you. And the imposter can kill people. The people who are not the imposter are trying to figure out who the imposter is. The imposter can jump through grates in the ship, like there'll be a grate on the wall. Yeah, almost like Alien. Yeah. The alien in the movie Alien would like use the air vents to get around the ship and kill people and things like that. And
some giant ass
air vents. They are basically. So the 3 of us, Russell, Dale, and I got in a party, and it was like, well, it's just 3 of us. We probably should go in the public thing. Let's just see what it's like. And we had an absolute blast. We had a pretty good group. There was a super high-pitched, maybe 5-year-old, like at the most high pitch that you could ever hear.
That was, I saw somebody play this game. They post a video on YouTube. They're a YouTuber, obviously, and they basically said babysitting in Among Us, because like every game they had 2 or 3 kids.
How are these kids? How are these kids playing the VR?
5 to 8.
I'm telling them,
I don't know. I sent a video of Richard where this guy murdered 2 kids.
Yeah. Yeah, just right there in the open.
The video I saw, like, there was somebody, there was a kid crying because he couldn't be green.
Oh, God. But I'm telling my children, you cannot play this because your eyes, like, they don't say to use this before this age. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not going to let you do that just yet. So they ended up watching us on the Oculus will let you cast to like I send it to my iPad, and they end up watching on the iPad, and they love it. Like they were fully engrossed in it. But so the very first game we play, myself, Dale, and Russell, we have no clue what we're doing. So we go off into this room to do a task together, right? We're sticking together. And I was like, dudes, are you guys crewmates? They were like, yeah. I was like, I am too. So I guess we'll stick together and we'll figure out how the imposters are. Damn it, if Russell ain't lying through his fucking teeth and is one of the imposters and kills me later on. I had no clue. I'm just doing a task. And I turn around because, you think you're just working with certain people and then you die. And then I'm like, it's him. It's red. It's red. But they immediately move you to a separate voice chat. You turn into a ghost. So then you're talking to the other ghost, Brant. Brant, if you don't have an Oculus, I'll buy an Oculus for this. It's so good. It's so good.
Is there damn crossplay on it, or is it only Oculus?
I think it's only Oculus. It was only VR people that I saw because they're doing hand motions, right? So a friend of the show, Dale, he's taller than me. He's quite tall. So he started out. He synced his person while he was standing up. And then he was like, okay, I can play this game sitting down. So the person had synced with like the hands in the helmet. So every hand motion that he's doing, like with the Oculus controllers, it's like coming out of his head instead of being in the torso area. So everything he's doing is like, because my favorite thing to do, you can do like a point finger thing. My favorite thing to do is like the birds with the pointer finger. I'm just doing this at people. Yeah, but he's doing it like it's all coming out of his head, like it's coming out of the top of his head, like a chicken or something. But we played a couple rounds. The imposters, we voted off. There were some annoying people that we ended up voting off immediately. I would be proud of this. There was an extremely transphobic individual in this random group, and I have no clue where this came from. But they wanted to accuse another... I'm not even going to bring it up. They wanted to accuse another individual in the game of... They were just transphobic remarks. And this whole group of people, these 10 randos online, as soon as the game started, they would hit the meeting button and everybody voted this person out every single round because they wouldn't leave the lobby. We were stuck in this lobby. So I will say, as soon as this got going, it didn't matter whether we were going to take the hit. It doesn't matter whether they were imposter, crewmate, or whoever. They had to go, and they were not. We couldn't figure out how to ban them or whatever. So anytime it started, and they started fussing about it, like, you're always going to kick me out. What are you doing? I'm just telling the truth. That's what I hear from this person. It was nonsense. It's like, and nobody had time for this. Everybody was voting for them to get out. So that was a good social experiment to see this person like. You got to go. We don't have time. We don't have time for your nonsense. You got to get the fuck out of here. But the first couple times, the imposters won. And then I think the very last round, Dale was acting kind of shady. He wasn't behaving like himself.
As the kids would say.
Sus. Yeah. Like he's always kind of quiet. But this was like, what do you mean I'm being quiet? I got no reason to be quiet. And it was like, you got to go. And Russell was trying to defend him, and I'm just like, both of y'all gotta go. We ended up, it was Russell and Dale out of the 10. I was like, I gotta get out of here. And they were gone. But the moment-to-moment gameplay of just like walking around and doing so when you do the tasks on the ship, it's just something with the Oculus. Like you grab a controller maybe and like steer the ship a certain way, or it's fun when the imposters will sabotage the ship, and then you have like 45 seconds or 30 seconds or something like that to put out these tasks. Like those are the emergency ones you have to do. And some of them are cool because it'll take two people. Like there's a handprint one where you have to have somebody else. Like you put your hand against it and then another person has to be there, and then you've stopped but you're being hunted at the same time. So you don't know when somebody's going to drop out and be right there on top of you and stuff like that. But we would have some crazy moments I thought the Twitter videos were just kind of an exaggeration, but somebody came in one time, they were like, I just saw green get in one of the vents, man. You gotta vote green, man. They just went one of the vents. I saw them. They went in one of the vents. And then green was in there acting shady, and I was like, no, and green was the transphobic person. So it was like, nope, this is early on. We already don't like you being in here and talking your trash and whatever you have going on. So you have to go anyways. And they were one of the imposters. He's like, no, you guys gotta do green. I saw him jump in one of the vents, man. He was right there in front of me. He just jumped in one of the vents. It was so much fun. I want more. It was great with the random group. There's going to be bad apples in every bunch, but the whole experience was a lot of fun. There were 2 people that I was with, and we made it a good time. There was a couple times where we were all ghosts, or 2 of the 3 of us were ghosts, so we're chit-chatting about who we think it is. Like, even when you die, you're not out of the game. It's still so much game when you're out of the crewmates or whatever, like winning or losing with the crewmates, because you still get to chit-chat with the ghosts. You still get to complete tasks. You're watching as things unfold. There's so many ways to play. You can do the tasks. You can run around like some of the Twitter videos Cesar sent us. I ended up doing. I'm like, I don't trust y'all motherfuckers. I'm going to back up. I'm going to keep an eye on everybody. I'm like backing through these doors. I know where the map's at. I'm not turning around letting any of y'all kill me.
Get away from me. Get away from me.
So what I do see is it is cross-platform.
Really?
Both regular and VR is cross-platform, though VR Among Us is only available on the MetaQuest, the Rift, and Steam.
Oh, okay.
Which are, of course, all PC.
Except for the Oculus, right? That's your cheapest barrier of entry.
For Oculus. It is not on PlayStation consoles, but it will apparently be available for PSVR too.
Okay.
So.
There you go, Brant. $600 justified.
$600 just to play some.
All right, so right now, Brant,
let's fucking go.
Or $350 right now.
And you get Resident Evil 4 and Beat Saber.
You get Resident Evil and Beat Saber.
That's not a bad bundle. And the headset is so good. That hardware is so good. We'll segue into Oculus stuff. So as I broke that out, like the whole family's watching. They're watching all the hijinks on the iPad because I'm streaming it to that. They're listening to me interact with people. As isolating, we've talked about as isolating as VR can be, they were all involved in this. And they had their own, like, we suspect this person. And they had, like, their own things going on. And they knew what I was. Like, they knew if I was a crewmate or not. And then... since then, the missus has picked up Moss. She is playing through Moss on the Oculus. And the kids are watching that. And they're chiming in like, go through there, I see this. And they're really enjoying, even though you can't see like the stream, you can't see the scale of, like the missus went through this one level of Moss where you could look, you see Quill come into the, as Moss plays, you know, the adventure of the mouse, that sort of thing. It's on PlayStation VR. It's kind of like a storybook thing where it's like a diorama almost. But the scale of VR, like you're looking at Quill jumping around on these mouse pads and or lily pads and things like that. And then the missus looks up with the headset and there's a deer in the background, like this giant deer just grazing in the background. And the kids just lose their minds seeing it on the iPad. They're like, Mom, go back, show us there's a deer back there, show us. And they're just like, they're totally into this adventure. And I've begun to rethink VR with this streaming to another device thing. Like it opens up, you're not as isolated. It's not this solo adventure that it can be sometimes. Like these adventures can still be told. They're getting the full story of Moss without being in that headset. And we're all like enjoying the experience and they bought into Among Us. We don't have 4 Oculus headsets, but they were like into the gameplay and the chit chat, except for the weird transphobic stuff, and trying to figure out who the murderer is and all that sort of stuff. And it was just we've fallen back into the Oculus, and right now everything is on sale. So if you have one, check it out. If there's a game you were interested in right now, it's probably really on sale. I think Res Infinite right now is $10, so I'll probably get Res Infinite for yet another platform. have that on hand. Tetris Connected is on sale, but I think I got that last year when it was when it first released, because I had played it on PlayStation VR and loved it. That'll be the Oculus update. Do we want to talk about Halo? Any big standout moments with Halo? Just, I know the 3 of us have been playing it pretty heavy when we have free time.
Yeah.
The new maps are awesome. I think the new maps are really, really good. And it seems less bullshittery. Brant, this past Saturday we played Big Team Battle. We had enough people on there to play Big Team Battle, and it was a lot of fun. We only had seeds one time. We kept getting skockets, which is skewers and rockets, over and over, and I was not good at it, but it was still a lot of fun, because as soon as you spawn, there's just rockets flying across your head, and then inevitably you'll see the glare of the skewer like in the distance, and then you just get dropped. It's just you get impaled. I had a very, very good experience in Master Chief Collection one night. Russell and I were playing, and my brother and I have like our icons on Master Chief Collection resemble genitalia. I think there would be some confusion as to actually defining them as such. But we played around with two randos that were you could tell they had the same clan tag, so they were on the same team. And they played on our team, and we won. And then I get a message, and I'm like, it's an Xbox Live message. You're like, oh, God, what is this going to be? But he was on my team. And he was complimenting my icon on my Master Chief Collection profile. So I sent him a message back, thanks. Squad up with us whenever you want. We won. So immediately they're in our party, right? And we didn't have party chat. They didn't have mics or something. But myself, Russell, and these two guys or gals, we went on a run of we won 7 of 8, I think, rounds after that. Just old man Halo. So Halo 1 on Master Chief Collection. And we won all but one of the rounds of that. And we were just steamrolling people. It was like, all right, we ran into some good ones. And they're messaging me on the Xbox Live in between each round, like, that was awesome. We did great. Or good job on capture the flag. Great job defending the base. You did awesome. We were able to go run while you hung back, that sort of thing. And it was like, it was over chat with randos. And so by the end of the night, we had friend requests from both of them. And it was like, man, we haven't hit it off like this with people actually playing with us and holding their own. And one of them was, what is that, Prisoner? We usually get muskets on Prisoner. This was snipers. We had snipers on Prisoner. So, but we did work, man. It was like 50-27 is what we won by. We just went off with these two people, and it just clicked, man. We worked as a team, just like we do when we're all on there. But when you get randos, you never know what's gonna like, and you never get the same people over and over. And we hit it off with these two, and it was fun. It was fun just falling in line and going to town like that. So those are my games played. Call of Duty Finest Hour on Xbox Online. Among Us on Oculus VR. My kids call it Mahungus for some reason. It's Mahungus VR. The missus played Moss. And we did play some Mario Kart Wii. Cesar brought up that is his least played Mario Kart. And we actually played some earlier in the week with tilt controls, and it sucks. It sucks so bad. And I legit bought 4 of those wheels within the past year for us to try, using the Wii wheels. It's garbage. It's suck. Garbage, yeah. We played, there was 3 of us, and we played Balloon Battle on Mario Kart Wii, just the multiplayer, team thing. I got no kills. The whole, 2 minutes or whatever that round is. I couldn't hit anybody with those tilt controls. What else did I play? Halo Infinite, Halo Master Chief Collection, Among Us VR, Moss VR is being played in the household. And the Oculus is real cool. You can because the missus and I have different pupil alignments, you can slide the lenses in and out inside the headset, which is very convenient. It's easy to adapt between the two of us.
So who has a defective?
Hers are much narrower than mine, which is a serial killer tendency, which I've heard, but not trying to point that out. Hope she's not watching, but but it's easy to. And we bought the Oculus strap that comes with it is garbage. And my first VR experience was PlayStation VR, which I'll argue is still the most comfortable VR anywhere. But we bought a third-party one that kind of has the dial from the PlayStation VR where you can tighten it in some. And so that is a big boost from that first initial strap. So it's easy to adapt between the two of us. If she used it last, I just moved the thing back out and back the strap back out and tighten it back in, just like the PlayStation VR one, which is super comfortable. Those are my games played. I took too long.
No, it's fine. I didn't really, outside of the Halo I played with you.
Oh! Yeah, I
think
I hit the top level in the season that lasts until March. I hit it in 2 weeks, and you're close, aren't you? Aren't you 21? Yeah, out of 30.
24. And I think the only time I ever played is the same time you played. I never.
It doesn't
played.
take long. This one's fast, Brant. Yeah. This season pass is so fast on this one. I maybe have 6 to 8 hours in this whole season, and you'll get to 30. It's like every game, Cesar, you're jumping up, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sometimes 2 levels. Yep. Yeah.
If you're boosting, definitely 2 levels.
Mm-hmm. Now I got a new piece area for my crotch. That was the last thing I unlocked.
That is one of the pieces they give you, isn't it? Like a cod piece thing.
Cod piece is the one I'm looking for. Yeah.
Like a stormtrooper.
But not the crotch piece. Cod piece. Yeah. I'm not. That's it. That's all I played this week. I mean, I was doing mostly homework all this week, so
that's good for me to have blabbed on for 20 minutes.
Still playing some Overwatch with the family. I'm trying to get the other 2 caught up in their battle pass, because they only have until December 6th to at least get up.
Richard will never make it.
I'm not stressing this one.
We'll never make it in time
because the Overwatch battle pass, there's a character that is either you have to outright buy them, or if you purchase the battle pass, you get them right away. Otherwise, you have to work your way up to level 55 in the battle pass. And I think my son just unlocked that character.
55? How long does that take?
A while, it seems like. I purchased the battle pass, and it seemed like I leveled up a lot quicker than he did, which was really crazy. Because he's
what you want, right? You pay money if you pay money for it, right?
I know, right? But I mean, it's like $10 for the battle pass, and the only thing is you unlock the paid tiers as well. Because I want to say, it's kind of like the battle pass in in Halo Infinite, where there's tiers where you don't get anything if you haven't purchased the battle pass. So that like tier 1 and 2 you don't get anything, but at tier 3 you get whatever that is if you are on the free battle pass section. And that's basically the same thing, but I don't know. I paid $10 and all it was is unlocking those other sections, but it seemed like I leveled up a heck of a lot quicker.
You paid money, I would expect you to level up a lot quicker, so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would be very pissed on what you paid for.
I know, right? So they're still working through that. The missus is, I want to say, she just got into like level 30-ish. So she's still got a ways to go, but we're trying to get her caught up. And then other than that, today I did finish God of War Ragnarok.
Well done.
Which I do not want to spoil that for anyone, so I'm gonna keep it light. I'm really not gonna talk about it too much. I did a few of the side missions, but all in all, that game took me 26 hours to complete.
It's not bad.
It's a damn good story. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if Cesar, maybe you felt like this too, but there's certain parts of that game that feel like it has some pacing issues. To me, at least. Like there's parts that I'm going and I'm like, okay, this feels kind of like a slog.
I don't know. I took my headphone out so I don't hear what you're saying. But I'm reading.
I'm. That's the thing is I'm not really gonna.
I gotta beat the game first before I can tell you anything about pacing.
I'm not really gonna say anything spoilery because I know.
Richard
may eventually play a little bit of it, and I know you're still playing.
I think I'm about to download the 2018 one, but I think you guys, and Cesar and I talked about this the other day. I think you guys should have a spoiler cast when y'all finish it, even if you're just talking about the game for like 15-20 minutes. And then we throw that out there as content. It doesn't have to be a numbered episode, just like, hey, we're going to talk about God of War Ragnarok. Here's what we thought. And then you just have that as a spoiler cast. I think that'd be pretty good content. I would, if I don't get around to
doing a spoiler cast on Metal Gear Solid 4 and it's just me by myself.
Sure.
I'll get there eventually.
What do I think about this part?
Oh, it's a monologue.
No, it's
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4 monologue.
Cesar, what'd you think about the time when Solid Snake fought Blink? Oh, Cesar.
That's a great question, Cesar. Let's break that down there. Yeah. It's a great question, Cesar.
This sort of questioning and interview skills may win you a Cesar award one day.
But no, it's a pretty damn good experience. Like I said, it's a very powerful story. It's a good story. I guess, I mean, they said it before that this is technically the end of the Nordic God of War story.
It's not going to be a trilogy?
I think that's what they've said. I don't know. I guess they could keep going. Because there's definitely, I mean, even though I've technically beat the main story, there's so much left to do.
Really?
The game opens up to where you just, and they go, hey, look, here's some stuff over here that we can do, and here's some stuff over here you can do, and there's this going on, and we need to find this, before it becomes a problem, and blah blah blah. So there's definitely things to where it opens up, and I definitely it took what was in the 2018 version and definitely just built upon it, and it just wound up being so good, because I think they already had pretty much got perfection out of that 2018 one. That 2018 one was just, it was beautiful.
That's all I've ever heard about it. Yeah.
But yeah, because I know there's probably several people still playing it, and I know Cesar is still playing it, so
do a spoiler cast.
I really do not want to get in any story stuff. So, but it's definitely good. Like I said, it 20 some odd hours. Eventually, it got to the point where I was getting, because both me and Cesar were playing it on normal. And eventually, it got to a point where there were certain things I'm like, I don't know why this is so damn challenging, and I dropped the difficulty down a notch.
Can you adjust it like to and fro?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can adjust it whenever you wanted. Because I know I did that in the 2018 one, because there's some optional battles that you can do in there in the 2018 one that's kind of like after story stuff. And there was one battle that was just like so freaking hard, but I had done like all the other optional battles.
Yeah.
And this was the very last one. I was like, screw it. I'm going on the baby mode and just getting this done, because I wanted to complete that one thing.
And you're no worse for the wear for doing so.
No, I wasn't. But yeah, I wound up dropping it down, and never had another problem again.
I need to do that with Horizon. I know I mention it every couple of weeks, but I need to get back to Horizon and knock that out.
Yeah,
because I was loving that game.
It's at the very beginning, and I think it's something like give me story, give me balance, and then there's normal, and then there's like challenging, and then there's like crushing or something like that. And I just, there was definitely a point where I was like, I'm on normal. Why is this one thing so damn hard? So, but yeah, it's a damn good game. It's a damn good game, and definitely gonna be up there. I think I saw that it had already sold really well, and I know it's up there in Keely's Game of the Year category.
It's outselling the first one, right? With like a way smaller install base. But I forget it's a PS4 title as well. So it
no, not just PS4 and Steam, and the original.
Right.
Which is crazy. You think this one right now is only PS5 and PS4?
Yeah.
So I mean,
you think Sony might look at those numbers down the road and shorten that 1 year thing and start bringing that more in par?
No.
Would we be? We're not upset, right? If Ragnarok was out on PC day one with PS5, Cesar.
I think they'll keep that 1 year window, but like you said, if the interest is there,
I mean,
I don't see why
they haven't had a flub PlayStation PC title yet, have they?
Sackboy didn't do great.
I mean, Uncharted.
And actually, yeah,
the
surprisingly,
Uncharted collection
didn't do great.
The Sackboy had less than 10,000 concurrent users when it released that weekend. Only 10,000 people bought it on Steam.
I mean,
that were playing it.
Amongst your PS5 friends, is anybody really like burning it up about Sackboy? I bought it because Brant was raving about it, and we haven't played it.
Yeah, you asked the question. They haven't had a flub yet. That was
okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that was the question.
The PC. Yeah, they definitely have had a PC flub.
Now, I mean, I think Uncharted would have done better if they went back and did the first 3 first, and then do 4 and the side story. It didn't make sense to do 4 for those people on PC.
That seems like an easy. That seems like an easy decision, right? 1 through 3 on PC. Yeah,
you would think.
It's just a switch. Just flip the switch. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, that's easy.
No big deal.
Just the switch.
God of War Ragnarok. It's up there for you, Brant, for the year.
I was hoping this whole podcast would be how Brant spent 30 hours playing Pokemon.
No, I've had to listen to my son talking on the phone to one of his friends about Pokemon all day.
That's awesome, though. You've made it, Brant. Well done, sir. You've made it.
See, I remember back in the day, though, but it would just be me and my friend sitting there in the same room, playing the Pokemon, to seeing where each person was. And then eventually I had a coworker a few years ago who, when the 3DS games Sun and Moon came out, me and him sat there and would play and text each other. Where are you at? What are you encountering? What gym are you at? And the stuff like that. So, did you get to this?
I failed for the show, Jeremy. We were recently playing Diamond and Pearl, and he is way further than I am. He's way further.
You're bad about that. You're bad about just dropping off on a game.
Guilty.
You are. I
mean, you got to give it to him. He completed the 30
games.
level battle pass on Halo. He didn't drop off the battle pass.
He completes the battle pass, but
I'm that person.
but most games you play so many damn games you never finish a.
That is correct. It's 100% correct.
But you play in a hell lot.
That's my MO. I dabble in a lot. I'm the Pizza Hut demo disc 2022. What's this like? Okay, that's that. What's next? Let me try this out. You're also arguing with one of the top 10 Call of Duty finest hour players selling original Xbox currently in the world.
I don't know. You checked it recently. You may have dropped.
They might have added some more invites. I might have slipped down the rankings. What else did you play, Brant?
That was it. I was looking for something else to play.
It's always within. Yeah, sure. What is it going to be? We're going to go with Assassin's Creed.
What's the
Brotherhood? It's the one.
Brotherhood.
That's what Brand reached for.
I didn't say I know that one.
I did you a favor, Brand. I bought your train game.
What train game?
Did they go?
What is the train game?
It came in.
Cesar, show us and tell us about it for audio listeners.
While you were troubleshooting, me and Cesar were talking about this. Both of us got it in, but
I'm in the same boat. Same boat.
I've heard so many.
It's an interactive museum.
And what I just showed was the Atari 50th. So,
Brant, buy your train game.
What is it?
Buy your train
game. What
is
it, Cesar? Tell the listeners.
For the Switch. Does it have the?
It doesn't help the listeners.
The little.
I'm looking at it. Hold on. Gaido Ukehaku.
Which is?
It just says a guidebook. Never mind.
Game of the year.
It's a Hirugaru. I don't know. It has Eggo, so that's why I bought it.
Like Eggo waffles?
No, Ego's English and Japanese.
Okay. Stream this. Stream the train game.
I can.
Chugga 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 choo choo. I think I can.
It's import friendly, Brant. You should buy it.
Hell yeah.
This is all it is. You're driving around in a train all day.
I was about to say, isn't that like little lever and the buttons and stuff like really expensive? That little peripheral.
I don't know. I didn't go that deep. I'm not that deep, Brant.
I only know because I looked. I know they had the game for like PS2.
Cesar and I played that 64 one I imported.
Yeah, the one on 64.
It looked amazing. We couldn't figure out quite what to do. Cesar, you'd probably be way better at it now. But it looked incredible. And I'm like, this is a 64 game?
We also got Naomi breaking the bad news to Snake in the background about Fox Die.
Oh, God, that's where we're at in the storyline in the background? Fox Die. What do you mean, Fox Die?
Yeah, I saw that streamer doing the key card bullshit. I hated that, running back and forth for the...
Oh, yeah, and then she got into it.
Padded out the key card
She had to go all the way back to the freezer again.
Yep. Oh, God bless the first Metal Gear Solid. Could have been a 3DO game.
Densha De Go. Yep, for Nintendo Switch. There's a plug and play. Here's the one for Nintendo Switch. The $140. But it's on sale. It was previously priced at $160.
You know what's surprisingly super fucking expensive for Switch is to buy that damn adapter that turns into a fishing pole.
Really? How much is that, Brant? 114?
And it has like a...
No, $139.
Ooh, yeah. For a train console.
Find it cheaper. Really? Didn't you get that with that one fishing game where it was like packed in?
Yeah, so if you buy the third party one's super cheap, but if you buy the official one, it's like fucking expensive.
It's like Dreamcast fishing poles. Have you all looked at Dreamcast fishing poles recently?
Oh God, no. Is that good?
It's either Mad Cats or Interact, I think, makes the third party one. It's much less expensive than the Sega one for Sega Bass Fishing. I don't know. I've been wanting to play a fishing game recently. One's on sale for Oculus. That might be because I already have the pole. I already have the headset. I might as well get the $10 fishing game. Get my fishing fix.
Yeah, the Switch one's supposed to be like a. The Switch one's supposed to be like a old school Dreamcast arcade type
style.
Thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Fishing games are good. They're relaxing. They're way more relaxing than actual fishing.
That's what I call bass fishing. Volume 6.
Oh my God, Brent. Oh, I've got a naughty looking one for Xbox. What? Yeah, I know. It's not a Rapala or something like that. It's I believe it's a Capcom. No, it's an Atlas fishing game. When we cut off the stream, I'll go grab it and show it to you. But it's a naughty looking one. I'm like, how is this an Atlas fishing game for the Xbox? Like, how did this become a thing? Oh, what is the name of that?
I don't know. Fish fear me, but women don't, or something like that.
That's what the title reeks of, or the cover art. Because I'm like, how is this the thing? Because Atlas USA didn't publish a lot of original Xbox titles. It's a fishing simulator. All right, gentlemen, is that it? So we're gonna join us next week for our top 10 fishing games. We're gonna stream. We could stream 24 hours of fishing games.
Yeah. Tune in for the Real Deal podcast.
I'm still
Real Deal.
Fish and fish and fish.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for the 24 hours of baseball games.
Or tennis. I think tennis would be a better baseball.
I got about 10 copies of random Japanese baseball games I have yet to open. So just sitting in the pile right here.
Do you want to do that one day? I know Extra Life was like 2 weeks ago, and it seems like every weekend Extra Life does something. I'm away, but I want to do 24-hour stream of something. One of the members of the Player One podcast, Greg Seward, does a 24-hour stream for Extra Life, and it's just like it's always a theme. Like he did Disney games this past year, so somebody paid a certain amount of money for Kingdom Hearts, so he played Kingdom Hearts for 3 hours.
Oh gosh, yeah, he could play Kingdom Hearts all freaking.
But he played a bunch of Disney games, and then like he played a Master System. Was it a Master System Donald Duck game or something? And he was like, "This is way better than it has any business being," and nobody talks about it. It was like I hate the term hidden gem because there's one YouTuber that uses hidden gem But it's like a sleeper hit on that console.
Back in the day, those Disney titles on the NES, Master System, the Genesis, and the Super Nintendo, those were some
games. And Digital Eclipse ended up porting like Jungle Book and Lion King and all those.
I mean, Richard, the worst thing that could happen, somebody can sit there and put like $2,000 on us to play Super Tennis for 24 hours.
I may decline the donation for extra. I would not decline any donation for Extra Life. I would play Mario Tennis and Virtual Boy if it was an Extra Life donation. I would like.
You would not do Super Tennis for 24 hours.
I would for Extra Life. I would.
Okay.
And it would be so much fun to be in a cause like that. And I don't have the right connection to like set us up for that or do whatever we need to like get into that point. But I would love, as much as I want like Twitch affiliation and to grow our brand and stuff like that, it would be so awesome to do some ludicrous stream to raise money for an Extra Life foundation or cause. That would just be so, and to see that number go up for those donations would just be, that would be super cool. Maybe we can do that next year or whenever their next big thing is. We can try to figure something out like
24-hour hot tub stream.
Sure. Maybe I'll have this room cleaned out and we can just crash and have food and snacks and drinks in here. And y'all know...
lots of energy drinks.
Yeah, that too. If you listen, listeners, if you listen back 3 or 4 episodes, you know the bathroom is extremely close to the microphone here, so it's not far from... I went back and listened and left it in. I was like, this is good content. This is what I would want to hear.
You can hear it hitting the bowl. Powerful stream.
Oh, the best stream. The 24-hour stream.
Mm-hmm. You can bring it to your doctor and let them know you're still in a 6th grade PM level.
We're gonna need...
listen to that piss.
Yeah, we're gonna need a sample. Wait, I got something better for you. Listen to NOFODcast episode 231. Go to like
it's like I'm a teenager still. You can hear that shit hit the bowl. It's like frying chicken in there.
Listen to that splatter.
Yeah,
this is getting deep. Are we fried chicken with that splatter?
Like, yeah, it's like you thought it was a chicken fryer, right?
You ain't no Hank Hill with that narrow urethra.
Ladybird. All right, you guys got anything else to add? We're devolving into chaos here.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will most certainly catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.